Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's stream because we have got potentially our first signing of the summer. Ola Solbakken from Bodo Glimt, our good old friends. They kind of get in our minds, even if we beat them, even if they are out of our vision, they're still around us. You see, they don't get away, and we've got Bodo Glimt linked because obviously Solbakken does play for Bodo Glimt, and Solbakken is one step away from joining Roma and for being the backup striker for our Tammy boy. Now, this is a deal which is very, very close on to happening. Solbakken is literally one step away from joining us this summer, and it'll be a new addition to the team. He'll obviously be a backup striker. There will be no space for him in the starting 11. But I think, a backup striker is something which we definitely need, because we have seen how much Tammy Abraham has sacrificed himself over the course of the entire season. And in this live stream, we will talk about Tammy, we will talk about Solbakken obviously and the agreements which Roma is having with his agents and himself. And we're also going to talk about Shomurodov, because at this stage with a new backup striker, then what do we expect with Shomurodov? Do we still keep him? Do we kind of sell him? Which obviously I think we will. But we will talk about Shomurodov as well. The first thing I want to talk about obviously is introducing Ola Solbakken, because Solbakken, played against us his team played against us 4 times. He himself played against us 3 times out of 4, because one of the 4 matches we played against Bodo was he was injured, which was the one where we lost 2-1. He played a big part in that 6-1 defeat, which was basically will be the most important part, is the most important part of their history, and will be the most important part of their history, because I can't see Bodo performing in such a way ever again in the history of football. So that match will remain. Will remain the history of Bodo Glimt. It will kind of remain a history of our club as well, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Solbakken did play a big part in all the matches apart from the one he was injured in, and he actually scored in a few matches which we played against them. The greatest goal he scored, the most important goal he scored, was back in November, something like that, when they drew 2-2 against us at the Olympico. And that is when, since then, Roma have pointed their eyes on Solbakken. Roma have tried to steal Solbakken from Bodo, and yeah, I mean, get him in a position which we definitely need to improve on, because we will talk about Tammy in a sec and how this deal kind of benefits Tammy as well. But as I said before, I do want to talk about the agreement. Roma and Solbakken and Solbakken's agents have found an agreement that basically puts this deal one step away from happening. The only thing which is missing is Roma having an agreement with Bodo Glimt themselves. They just need to find the agreement. But I think with these small clubs, right, we can't really expect Bodo to say no. Don't get me wrong. When you're interested in a player, the only big clubs which can say no to you are big clubs like Real Madrid, these clubs. The second you ask for a big player in return for not that big amount of money, but for a club like Bodo, 2, 3, even 4 million potentially could mean a lot. Yes, Roma do need to still find an agreement with the club, with Bodo Glimt, but the situation with these small clubs when it comes to transfer market is always like this. They don't have the financial power to say no to you. And I'm not just speaking on the behalf of Bodo Glimt here, it can happen to clubs like Torino as well, to clubs like Sampdoria in our league. I'm not speaking just about Bodo Glimt, but you see, when it comes to small clubs don't have the power, don't have the economic and financial power to say no to you. I can't expect us having an agreement in place with him and his agents, having an agreement with basically himself. He said that he wants to join Roma, and the only thing missing is an agreement with Bodo Glimt. I can't see, after all of these things, Bodo Glimt saying, no, you're not having it. Because for 3 million euros, Bodo Glimt can basically buy so many players. You know, there were so many memes going around in after we lost 6-1 to them. You know, seeing the fact that the entire the Bodo team, which beat us 6-1, was worth like 2 of our players, something like that. That puts to mind how much 3 million euros can basically change the entire dynamics of the team. And in the Norwegian league, where basically the objective of Bodo every year is to try and win the Norwegian league and to try and get in the Conference League or maybe in a Europa League as well. If that is their objective, 3 million euros for a club like Bodo Glimt can basically set them a Norwegian title. Because other clubs in their same league can wish for 3 million euros. This is why, when it comes to finding an agreement with these small clubs, we can't really expect Bodo to say no. We can't really expect us having an agreement with him saying he's very interested in playing for Roma. The only thing we're missing is an agreement with his club. I can't expect a change in situations where Bodo says, no, you're not having it, I'm keeping him. Because as I repeat, they can basically do so much with even 3 million euros. And to be honest with you, I think what Solbakken has shown in this Europa Conference League run, I'll be honest with you, he's worth even more than 3 million euros. I'm not saying he's worth more than 10 million. I think his value is around 5, 6, maybe 7 million euros. If that is the case, 6, 7, 8 million euros for Bodo Glimt can set them out. They can set a team for the next 20 years. That is how much money is important to these clubs. And I think, yes, the value there is not me making it up. I searched it up on Transfer Market. Everyone says his value is around £3 million. I disagree with this. I think he's shown that he's worth more than that in this Conference League run, which is a European, cup. And for the main player in a team who reached the quarterfinals of a European tournament is always good. And I think Solbakken deserves more. And to be honest with you, that is the situation. Now, however, on the other hand, we have something to talk about, which is the fact that he is a free agent in December. In December 2022, he is a free agent. And we could potentially buy him without even spending money. And that obviously would mean saving up money to buy bigger players. That will obviously be the ideal thing. And to be honest with you, I'm not completely against it. Because the fact that throughout September, October, November and December, November and December this season will be holidays for players, for most of our players, because most of our players are Italian and they aren't in a World Cup. But for many of our players, they will not be playing in the Serie A, they will not be playing in the Europa League due to the World Cup being played in November and December. That means that we would just need to get through September and October, then have a massive break, and then in December, start of January, he's a free agent, you get them and you save money. That can be an option, because the Europa League this season is starting very early. The Europa League is starting the 8th of September, my birthday, and the Serie A is starting the 13th of August. The dates this season are very, very early. And we all know that the Europa League will obviously be tougher than the Conference League. Therefore, in these tough matches at the start of the season, to kind of start the momentum back, I can't see the reserves starting, over the course of September and over the course of October, and also seeing the fact that there will be a massive break for November and December, club football, club international football, not international football, club-based football will have a massive break. That means that over the course of September and October, only the big players will start. Because that's where the momentum needs to start. That's where the Europa League starts, which will be tougher than the Conference League. So there will be no space for reserves. That means that even if we were to buy Solbakken now and maybe spend 5 million euros, which doesn't seem that much money, you know, we can kind of get our heads around it and wait a few more months, because Solbakken will be playing in those months, because we said it, the starting 11 players will start, and wait until January after the World Cup and buy him then. Saving 5 million euros does not seem that big of a deal. It is, because imagine if we could use those 5 million euros, for example, to pay the wages for a player like Dybala next summer. It means a lot. Saving money is always key, and not just in football, in life, ladies and gentlemen. Life lessons with Simon here. That's the situation. I think we will buy him before January. There is an agreement in place between us, him, and his agents. There is just an agreement to take place between us and Bodo. Journalists are saying that he will become a New Rome player in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens there. But that is it. Now, Tammy Abraham will benefit from this, because Tammy this season has been playing so many matches that he played the last weeks in where he was basically, he himself didn't know how the hell he was still standing up on Wednesday when we played against Feyenoord. He came to the end of the season as knackered. Like, he could not do it anymore. And to be honest with you, that is what happens when we don't have top quality and a top quality squad depth. Tammy Abraham has played basically every single match. Shomurodov has played a few matches, but never really convinced. This is why grabbing a player like Solbakken, who with the Conference League grabbed a lot of European experience, and therefore will be useful in some Europa League matches, can't be useful because he's got the talent. I think when it comes to talent, he's better than Shomurodov. One thing which is very important though is to not overhype him, and we'll talk about this in a sec. But he's shown the talent he has to us. He's shown it very clear, and he can give Tammy a good old, sometimes a good old rest. This will never mean that he will start over Tammy Abraham. He will not fit in the starting 11. He will be a good substitution, and he probably knows that. He knows this himself. He will come to Roma most probably, but he knows that he will be a reserve. Tammy's up front. He is there to give Tammy a breather in important matches, not in important matches, after important matches, because. You see, one thing which was very clear this season, if we had Solbakken this season, Tammy would have had so much rest. And all those energies, which Tammy consumed over the course of the entire season, would be less existent if a player like Solbakken was there. Now, let's not remember that Tammy will be playing the World Cup. That will put a lot of excess energy in Tammy's legs. We've got so many tournaments this season. Europa League is gonna be tougher than the Conference League. Serie A, we've got bigger objectives. World Cup for some players. If you put all of these tournaments together, you come at the end of the season, if we were potentially be playing, and this is an example, if we were potentially be playing in a Europa League final next season, right? Potentially, Tammy wouldn't have energy to play that match. This is why squad depth is so important, and Solbakken can resolve quite a few problems when it comes to squad depth. And I think it would be a great first hit. And plus, he's kind of a budget hit, because 3, 4, 5 million euros for this guy is an absolute bargain. So yeah, I think it's not too bad. Now, what I'm saying is, he's a great player, but I don't want to overhype him. And this is something which everyone should do. don't overhype Solbakken, because he is potentially a good player, a good squad depth player, but don't overhype him. The fact that he scored a banger against us doesn't mean absolutely anything. It is good because I myself believe that he can solve a lot of squad depth problems, especially in the attack side, because he can play as a striker and he can also play as a right wing, so he can give some time to rest, not just to Tammy but for some other players as well. But it is important to not overhype him, because let's be honest, the only reason why we are about to buy Solbakken is because we played against him, he scored against us, and yeah, we played 4 matches again. That is the only reason, realistically speaking, of why we're interested in Solbakken. Never in a million years would we ever be interested in this young lad if he didn't play against us. Like, that is to be understood. The only and simple reason of why we're interested in him is because he scored against us. That is it. Like, when in a million years would Mourinho go, right, give me Solbakken, if he never played against us and we would never even know who he is? That is the only reason why we're interested in him. And that reason links to the fact that we can't overhype him. The fact that we can't, the fact that he scored against us doesn't mean an absolute crap. Because, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Okay? It's important to do that. Plus, he does play in the Norwegian league. Like, we can't expect big competition in that league. So, it's a great addition. I think it can improve squad depth by a lot. But it's important not overhype him. That is what I'm saying. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Shomurodov. Because, yes, he does play as a right wing as well as a striker. But his real position is a striker. And Shomurodov is basically has got a big question mark, if you ask me, if we buy him. Because we don't need Shomurodov. The second we buy him, he can play as a right wing, he can play as a striker, puts Shomurodov in a position where we're like, we don't need him anymore. Shomurodov, in my opinion, will be a player which clubs will be interested in him, right? But it's the clubs where I can't really see Shomurodov being interested in going. I think Shomurodov would be a great player for any of the 3 clubs which got promoted to the Serie A, and I'm talking about Lecce, I'm talking about Monza, and I'm talking about, who's the third one? Who's the third one? Lecce got promoted, Monza got promoted, and who else? Let's see. And Cremonese, right. I think these 3 teams would be perfect for Shomurodov. If he wants to, kind of boost it up more, I think clubs like Torino, clubs like Sampdoria, these clubs are clubs where I think Shomurodov should be directing to. I think the second we buy Solbakken, we don't need Shomurodov anymore. Shomurodov is a player which I think deserves more. And to be honest with you, I'm the first one to be contradicting here, because I've always hated on Shomurodov over the course of the entire season. And I'm here to apologise, because I think Shomurodov does deserve more time. But the few times he played, he never bloody convinced. That, don't get me wrong, he scored 2 times. But still, I think we need better options. We need better squad depth options. And that is where, to be honest with you, Solbakken might be better than Shomurodov. So that is the situation. There is an agreement in place between us, Solbakken, and Solbakken's agents. There is one obstacle left, which is an agreement with his club, or good old friends, Bodo Glimt. The second that will take place, Solbakken will most probably become the first player to be bought in this summer transfer market, and waiting for some big players to come as well. Let me read some comments, and then I'll end the stream. Let's see what people think. I need to blow my nose though. This is an amazing piece of business. If we sign him, I'm all for it. He's an incredible player, and for a steal of deal, it's a win-win. I think Solbakken would be a great signing. What would happen with Shomurodov? Yeah, I think Shomurodov will leave. I mean, Don't get me wrong, Shomurodov can also potentially leave on a loan. I think the clubs could loan Shomurodov in, and then if he convinces them, then they can buy him. I don't think Shomurodov will cause any economic and financial problems to any club. And I think yeah. Simon is a right wing replacement for Carlos Perez. He is a right wing, but he can also play as a striker. In fact, the opposite. He's a striker, but he can also play as a right wing. We would need more quality and depth in the squad for next season, and he's a great backup that can play right wing or centre. So he's a huge upgrade on Carlos Perez and cover for Tammy too. Do you think Solbakken is good enough to start? No. No. Realistically speaking, he's not. Like, I'm not here to hate or anything. He's just not. Just imagine if we were to... I always have this Dybala thing in my mind. Right now, forget about Dybala. We're gonna buy big players this summer. If you put them next to Tammy and next to Pellegrini, that forms a big attacking trio. If you put Dybala, if we were potentially to buy Dybala, imagine Pellegrini, Dybala and Tammy Abraham. That puts a barrier for Solbakken to play. Not that I have anything against him, but I think we've got better players. And I think also if we keep Zaniolo as well. So yeah, we need players who can protect the ball in the midfield and also have good balance, like Modric, Bernardo Silva, Thiago. I think Isco is the best option, and Dybala, of course. We'll see what happens. Isco is he's not an option. There haven't been any link-ups between us and Real Madrid, but he is, hypothetically an option. He doesn't get much game time there. So Gonzalo Guedes says Lazar Pavlovic. Yes, we are interested in him as well. It was tough on Tammy that we didn't have a quality backup striker this season. Couldn't trust anyone else to give him a rest. Yeah, that is exactly where I think a big reason of why we're interested in him is definitely that. Senesi will be needed. Senesi, defender. Our true defender Mancini, Smalling and Ibanez will be more stronger next season, I believe. I mean, if Smalling can play every match as he played in that bloody Conference League final, then hands down best defender in this area. But obviously he does need to keep that consistency. Belotti on a free, nah, I'm totally against Belotti. I don't think he's great, and plus I think buying Belotti would put a lot of pressure on Tammy, because Tammy right now is living the best moment of his career. We can't ruin it. The second we buy Tammy will understand that Belotti is an average player and that he will have less game. You see, I think focus on Tammy right now and buy backup options. If we buy Belotti, I don't think he is gonna accept to become a backup option. I think he is a first player. I think he's a starting player, 100%. But frankly speaking, I don't really want him. I feel like having a new central defensive midfield and a new right midfield will benefit the team more than having a new striker. Overhyped Dybala if he comes. I agree, Simon. Also, can you get Belotti still for free? I like Solbakken for current Zaniolo, but my dream is to get Belotti still for our backup striker. I mean, he is a free, but again, I don't think Belotti will accept being a backup striker. He's been playing for Torino as a first striker since now. I can't see him becoming a backup option. That's where I'm heading. Let's see. This is so weird. Weren't we and Bodo hating each other the whole season? Openda, he played against us with Vitesse and he took Maya with the left wing. Oh my days, that guy was he the guy who missed that goal which anyone would have scored? Yeah, oh yeah, I remember him. He was the daredevil. Like, oh my god, I just bit my tongue. He was a daredevil, yeah. Tammy will be number one, so we need a backup striker, but with some quality like Tammy, we can copy what Milan did. Giroud and Ibrahimovic mentality. We need players like them. I think Roma fit with English players. Vardy maybe. Tillemans so good, but don't know the price will be too high. Watch a lot of Norwegian football, and he is the best in the league. Says Andy32. Next year, Roma will win the Serie. don't overhype objectives. I'm saying this now. Don't overhype objectives. Step by step. You know, there are right now in a position the 30th of May 2022. There are better teams than us in this area. That is just the way it is. So we can't think about winning the league next season immediately. We need to think it step by step. The big objectives next season will be getting as far as possible in the Europa League and getting top 4. After that, we can start thinking about more juicy objectives. But don't overhype objectives. Step by step. And it's going to be, step by step. The only 2 names Roma is actually outright working on are Villar, Dunn, and Solbakken. Dunn missing, Olibado missing. Every other name is fake or just Roma asking for information. Belotti to Monza, you watch. That can easily happen. Berlusconi masterclass. Yeah, I can see that happening as well. Who said that? Armando M. 100%. A Berlusconi masterclass will happen this summer. He's got the money. He can easily do that. So, I agree with you. I totally agree with that. Right, lads and lasses, I'll catch you tomorrow for another live stream. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button. Let's try and get 5,000 subscribers as fast as possible. And also smash the like button as well. Follow me on Instagram over there in the yellow box. It's Simon _ AS _ and I will catch you tomorrow with another live stream. Simon.